few late nights. Oh. G'day guys, Travis here from Fitness Education Online. Welcome to this recording here. We're going to be adding this to the Bootcamp Blueprint as well. But thank you very much for joining me today. Got a very special guest here, very important topic I think for the for basically the industry at the moment moving forward, because I think moving forward using a booking system is basically going to be a complete must because essentially, if we're capped at whether it be 10 people, whether it be 20 people, we're going to have a few different, we're going to need to provide a few different options, and booking systems is definitely going to be one of them. So thank you very much for joining me here today, Pete, and thank you for giving up a bit of time. First things first, got a couple of people tuning in here. Thank you very much for being here with us live. Do you guys mind if we get we're going to just have Pete on the camera. So do you guys mind if you just turn your cameras off? But thank you very much, and put yourselves on mute. And when we come back to the questions time, you can throw your cameras back on and we'll be able to ask Pete plenty of questions. But thank you, Pete, for being here. Do you want to give everyone a bit of an introduction to yourself and what you're about and where you've come from?
Certainly, yes. First up, thanks very much for having me on. Absolutely honoured. Yeah, a little bit about myself. You may tell from my beautiful dulcet tones, I'm actually not from this beautiful country. I'm actually from a slightly less beautiful country of the UK. We moved here. My background was actually the fire service. I worked as a firefighter for 10 years, worked up in the ranks, and then my wife and I decided to emigrate to Australia. She's Australian. About 6-7 years ago. Now, in the UK, you don't get paid an awful lot of money in the fire service, so you had to do a part-time job, and I worked as a personal trainer. And then when we emigrated over here 7 years ago now, actually, not 6, I actually took up personal training full-time. And during that time is where a number of colleagues of mine and clients were talking about areas where we felt that there could be improvements in the process of actually finding personal trainers and finding clients. That's kind of how we started out. That's how the conversation started. And what we started at that point, we didn't quite realize the mammoth undertaking that it would become. It was, the idea was just to create a little sort of business listing kind of site. And then we, I was like, I want it to do this, I want it to do that, and it has to do this, and we're not going live until it does that. I just turned into a bit of a, a mad king at one point. And finally what we got out was basically a system that we launched around about a year ago, maybe 14 months ago, which covers sort of 3 main areas. As we stand at the moment, we cover a marketing platform for personal trainers and boot camps, fitness professionals. We cover online booking and scheduling system, which is obviously what we're sort of more focused on speaking about today. And we also cover a payment gateway. The payment gateway side of Muster actually came about as just a means of making it a free system for personal trainers. And I'll put like any concerns to bed, because obviously people hear free, and if you're anything like me, I'm a natural born pessimist. You think, oh yeah, go on in. But we have created this as a completely free to use system by effectively becoming a payment gateway like some other payment systems out there. The only way we make our money is on transactions. So that's a transaction fee between your clients paying you. Now, we are a completely free system. You can use one or all of the features in Muster. Doesn't cost you anything. And you can choose to use it for payments or not. Doesn't matter to us. We just want to actually provide something that's useful to the industry. And yeah, that's what we've done. We've got this booking system. I mean, I'd love to share screen if there's anything you want to see, but basically I'll run through very quickly the process of how it comes about. We're a mobile friendly web app. So it's not an out and out app that you're going to find on the App Store. It's a mobile, so it works on all devices. So it works on PC, tablet and smartphone, any smartphone. So what we've got, the process is that you basically sign up to Muster. You create an account, and then you have the option of creating like a marketing profile, which is actually its own web page, which we then put in the system, and it's completely self-managed. So you can edit it at any time you want, put like profile pictures up, you can put your bio about yourself, qualifications, any specialities that you want to sort of show that you do, link it to your Facebook page, your Instagram. And then what we do is we put that and we list that so that people looking for fitness professionals in their area or online can basically look and find your profile via like a geo search map if they're doing it based on location, or based on the specialities that they actually want within their trainer or their boot camp. Now, then what they do is they can click into your profile, and within that profile is where your booking calendar would sit. So you have two options. Obviously, there's one way that people come to you could be via just searching for a trainer, searching for and finding you. The other way is that because you've got your own web page within the system, it's actually got its own URL. So you can share that with your current clients, and then they will have access directly to your booking calendar. And that's what, we've got a couple of videos out showing how easy it is for clients to be able to effectively do, like, I think it's like 4 or 5 clicks, and then they can book their sessions with you. So you can book PT sessions if you choose to put in like an available block of PT hours, or classes. So if you create classes, you can do that across multiple locations. So we wanted to make this as like flexible as possible. We want people to be able to, list their businesses, say if they work, I don't know, in like as a mobile trainer covering XYZ suburbs during the day, but they also run boot camps at 5 o'clock at night. They can run that all through one system, all through this one place. And yeah, so I don't know how much you want to see of the system now, or I'm not sure.
We'll jump in there. We'll jump into there in a moment. But
yep.
So essentially what I just want to, go over and make sure everyone's got clear, it's a free system for anyone or for PTs to be able to use. On top of that, it basically runs off almost like a commission, I suppose. Is that maybe the right way? Like a PayPal, where like any time that someone makes a payment via the system, like it's sort of a little commission comes out from there, essentially. Is that pretty accurate?
Exactly right. So basically it's a transaction fee. That's the only payment in the system happens. So if, for example, you had your client on a recurring payment schedule with us, there would be like a transaction fee, same as like, some of the other payment gateways do. Only ours, we've actually managed to create a payment gateway, as it turns out, which actually is extremely competitive in its own right. We've got, no new client setup fees. So every time you add a client, you're not going to get charged $5 or $11, depending on who you're with. You've got no minimum monthly transaction fee. So if you don't hit a certain number of transactions, you're not going to get charged the difference. You've got no annual renewal fee, which is the new weird and wonderful one coming out. PCI compliance fees. Basically, you can list any fee you want. The only fees are charged on top of your client's payment. So if they make a booking through the system, or if you've got them set up on a recurring direct debit or debit card payment, we add 1.76% plus 33 cents on card. That's it. And if it's a direct debit, which is recurring frequently, it's $1.50. And that's the only fees. And there's one other fee in the entire system, and that's a dishonor fee. So if someone's on a recurring payment and they didn't have enough money in their account, there is a dishonor fee. The only reason we put that in is because people weren't getting paid. Simple as that. Like, there was no incentive for the client to have the money in their account to actually allow the payments to happen. So we've got like an $8.80 dishonor fee. So it's like a slap on the wrist to the client, but not going to make them go, take me off this flipping payment system because it's, charge me $30 or whatever.
So that's something interesting. I didn't know that. So you can also put in your clients as like a weekly direct debit through Muster as well.
Exactly right. Yeah. So, that's how it wasn't how we envisaged this starting out, but we kind of like, basically we said, look, we can make this a completely free system and still make money as a company to be able to run the promotions and do everything that we want to do to try and develop business for the PTs and the boot camp instructors and owners by creating the payment gateway. And that's how everything's funded. All development, future development. We've got some new features. We're constantly looking to try and improve the system and try and add new things into the system. And we've just recently got basically secured development over the next couple of weeks of some pretty exciting features to add, especially in the boot camp space as well. So beautiful. I'll keep tight-lipped about that, but it's because I spill everything. I'm the worst. But,
so one of the biggest things that I was going to chat about today wasn't necessarily that payment gateway idea, like that, or direct debit. That's really cool to know. But it's the idea that at the moment, obviously, everyone's a bit confined with what they can do, whether it be face-to-face, whether it be online, and how they're going to offer things, and whether they're going to offer like a hybrid program. And so understanding that you're going to need to probably have clients booking in for specific sessions. So that was the big thing that I wanted to chat about with Muster. So, like where you can have someone, let's say I'm running, face-to-face sessions, and I can only have 10 people or 9 people or 20 people in some states at the moment attending these sessions. And I've got 40 clients. Who are the 20 people who are going to be attending this session, and how do I sort this out? So this is where Muster, I think, was going to really or any booking system, but Muster specifically is going to be very important moving forward, because if you've got a larger clientele than what you're running for a group session, you're going to need them booking in for sessions. And if you're also offering maybe like a hybrid thing where you're half online and half face-to-face, maybe you need to charge a little bit extra for them to be coming to their face-to-face sessions as well. But good to know that you can do the weekly payments through Muster as well. That's an important thing to know there. Now, obviously when we're organizing the booking system, so let's say I'm a client, I book in for a boot camp session at 5:30 p.m. through the system. How does it work on my end? Or is it pretty smooth, or what's the sort of process?
Yeah, so as a client, it depends how the client's been added to the system effectively, or if they've been added to the system at all at first, because anybody can view your profile once it's up and live. So basically any client, you could just say, go to Muster and find my profile, or you could give them the link directly to your profile, your own personal link within the system to your URL and your web page within the system. At that point, then the client can click on to make a booking, and they'll be asked effectively to provide their information at that point so that you know who's booked effectively. Mm-hmm. And then if they are not yet in the system as such, then they're going to be people who are going to be asked to make a payment for that. Like basically it'd be like a casual rate or whatever you set your payment as for a single sort of offering. So you have that option there. You also have the option of allowing people to make bookings without having to pay every time. So that's done by actually adding them to the system yourself. So you've got like a clients and payments section within Muster, which is where you just very quickly add name, mobile, email address, and click submit. At that point, they get a message from us, an email saying, hey, Travis has added you to Muster, and it gives little YouTube videos about how they can make bookings, like how-to guide with activating the account to make sure that we've not got any gremlins or robots doing their nasty stuff to try and mess the system up. And effectively, they can then log in and see your profile, see your calendar within your profile, and make bookings on your classes or on blocks of PT available hours, or both.
Yeah, wow, okay. I just think that it's so vital at the moment. I can't stress that enough for everyone watching or listening today. Like having something where people are locking in for a class at 6 p.m. and you know that you can only have these sort of numbers. It's too risky otherwise. You can't afford to have 15 people turning up and face whatever the fines currently are, or you can't afford to go outside of those scope of practice, health and safety wise, whether it be for a fine purposes and also just for general health and safety. Because you might have, if you've got 15 people turning up and there's a 10-person maximum, the group's probably not going to be overly comfortable because they're also knowing that they're in the wrong there as well. So it's best for your clients, it's best for you. So having this sort of booking system is going to be super vital. Now, we spoke a little bit about having a look at what it looks like on the back end as well. So would you mind giving us a look at what it might look like for someone who wants to book a class? And we'll sort of talk through it a little bit for those who may only be listening, but we'll get your screen up and we'll have a look.
Yeah. At the moment, it's just giving me that the host has disabled attendee share screen. Okay. So can you enable that for me, please, in our chat? That'd be lovely.
Should be able to. Here we go. Is that we in there now?
In there like swimmer, yeah, that's good. And Chrome, I think, is what I'm going to share. Sorry, yeah. Open.
So one of the things that I think that people want to probably just be able to get their hand around is, the user experience from like if I'm a trainer, how easy it is for me to set things up, and B, how easy it might be for clients if they're looking to book in for a class or book in for something.
All right, I think I've done that. So let me just double check.
Beautiful.
Just let me know if you can see my screen.
Not at the moment. It's supposed to be up there now.
Can you see Zoom? Is it saying Zoom?
No, at the moment we're just on my screen. But bear with me. Let me just double check. Nothing yet. The joys of going live and doing the stuff for the first time. But that's all right. While we're there we go. We're up now.
We're good. Excellent.
We're
that
good.
was my fault. Just
No, that's all right.
That's the software developer's fault.
That's all right.
Allegedly, like I coded it. Yeah. So yeah. Okay. So we're good. Yeah. You can see my
we're good here. We can see everything here.
Excellent. Okay, cool. So what I'll do is first I'll log into a trainer account, a live trainer account. And my Wi-Fi is a little slow today because the world and his wife is obviously online at the moment, which is great. So what we got here is the scheduling calendar. Okay, so this is a trainer's calendar. And what we have here are private events, these ones where it's all different colors with different names on. And you can assign clients from your clients and payment section to them so that they can actually see it themselves as well. So they can see when their own sessions are within your calendar, if you choose to. You don't have to. Now, what we've got here, where it says book, was from a demonstration I did with lovely lady Emma earlier down in Tasmania. And what we did was we created an availability booking session, which is here, these like 3 hours where it says book. So let me just move myself out of the way because I can't see what I'm doing. So that's a class as well. So we've got classes and we've got PT availability here. All of these private sessions won't be viewable by anybody within your profile unless you allocate their name to it, and then only they will be able to see it. What they will be able to see is obviously your PT availability and your class. So I'm just going to go in. First up, I'll just very quickly show you what the marketing profile looks like. Now you put your profile picture in. This is that URL, so you can put your own username in at the end, and that is what you're going to share. If you're doing online training, then you'll tick yes to that, because that means your profile will also show up in our online trainer business listing as well, which always helps, bit of free advertising. Pop in whatever information you want to put about yourself, as mentioned before, your bio, your specialities. If the specialities aren't on this list, you put your own unique specialities in. Link it to Facebook, Twitter, if you're American, and Instagram. And that's all self-managed, so you can do that at any time. Dashboard just gives you an overview of the whole system, but what I'm going to do is just create like a location. So you can create an availability location, which is for personal training. You can list it as a gym, mobile, outdoor, studio. You can put your different prices for different session durations. So if you do 30-minute sessions, you can put a price in for that for a single payment method. Hours, 45s, group rates. You can offer a discounted first session if you want as well. And then for your classes and your boot camps, which is probably a little bit more in keeping with the group, you can obviously create your boot camp to be shown as a gym, outdoor, studio. And here we can put different deals. You can add multiple classes in. So if you want to put different classes in, say you wanted to do like a HIIT class, but you also did like a boxing class, then you could give them different prices if you want per session as well, and so forth. And then you can create that. So once you've created those, so I've created 2 of these already, so I won't spend too much time doing that. You go into your calendar, and then you're going to set some availability if you're doing personal training. We can see earlier I did that demo for Emma, so we called it Emma's Studio. And I just want to block out from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. You can select multiple days if you want to do that, but I'm just going to do for this day. As soon as you submit, you've just created some availability in the lovely teal color here. And that's obviously editable. You can take that out, and that will allow people to make bookings on your PET availability. Excuse me. Now, if we want to do classes, we're going to create an event. We're going to create a class. Your class location that you created, you'll select that. And here we've got all the classes, different classes that I put in under that location. I'm just going to select a boxing class. And this is within the location. What I didn't point out, you can set your maximum participants, your maximum amount of people who can book in. So obviously at the moment, what we've got is the restrictions taking us down to, in a lot of places, down to 9 people plus the trainer. So that's where you can do that. And then as soon as 9 have booked, it's going to stay full, and no one will be able to book. You'll be able to see who's made those bookings within your My Bookings section.
And just one quick thing here as you're going through this. So if I've got someone who's on a weekly direct debit, I'm running a boot camp that's, you know, $50 a week, and I'm running, you know, whatever, 5 sessions a week. They obviously don't need to. They're going to be in the system, and they can just select already without obviously having to pay.
Exactly right. Yep. They can select the classes that they want to attend. Exactly right. Nice. So I'm just going to create this class. We'll call it an hour of boxing. That'd be pretty hard. Let's make it 45 minutes. And then if when they're making a booking, you want to tell them, you know, a little bit of information. I don't know, meet by steps with white gloves or something like that, because we're doing a boxing session. We don't want smelly gloves. Submit, and it's just going to create that class at 4 o'clock, I think it was, until 4:45 on Sunday in purple down here. And that's what people can book in on. So very quickly, I'm not going to dwell on the payment system, but I'm just going to show you how it looks from a point of view of adding clients. It's literally just a matter of add a client, first name, last name, mobile, email, add the client, and then they'll appear on your list here. Now, what we've got down the bottom here is the ability to enable booking. Now, because Val's on a recurring payment plan with me, this is a dummy client of mine, by the way, who I use. They're on this. I was using this to display how easy it is to change payments and, you know, make adjustments to future payments, view past payments, undo cancel payments, and so forth. But because she's on a payment schedule, I have enabled Val, this dummy client, to make bookings of my classes and my PT sessions. So now I'll log into that client, I should say. And this is now the client space. So if someone's looking for a, you know, personal trainer boot camp in one of these locations in Brisbane, as soon as this is caught up, we're going to get a whole bunch of trainers coming up in the system. So we've got Michael, Brendan, Richie, Mayra. And these are all profiles, like self-managed profiles within the system.
Oh, wow.
Now, you can send them a link directly to your profile, as mentioned before. They can also just put you as one of their favorites. So what they do is they find your profile and they just click that star in the bottom corner of your profile picture, excuse me, and then they'll end up on your favorites list as well, this is all explained to them in a very short YouTube video to show them exactly, you know, the shortcuts, you know, to make it nice and quick and simple. So this is the marketing profile. This is my own one, obviously, which I'm just using. This is where I've linked it to Facebook, my Facebook page, where I've linked it to Instagram, telephone number, email address, qualifications, and this is the booking calendar. So obviously you can't see what I don't want them to see, which is all the private events, but what they can see is where they booked, because that's a booking I did earlier in the system, the classes, and where they can book on PT. There's a list here of locations, prices, and deals. So it links the color to what we're seeing here. So boxing is purple, Emma's classes, $15. And we'll just say I think I may have already, oh no, yeah. So as it says here, if I hadn't been enabled at this point as a client, when I click register, it would just ask me for my credit card details for a single payment. But because I have been enabled to book, as it says here, no charge if booking enabled by trainer or gym, that's terms and conditions, the trainer's terms and conditions that you can upload into the system so they can see about your cancellation policies and so forth. They have to click to agree to that. And then as soon as they register, it's going to ask them to confirm, just check the time, where it is. Down in Tassie, outdoor sessions, pretty cold. And we confirm. And now the event has been booked, and it's just going to show a list of bookings for me as the client. And this will also show to me as a trainer in my booking section as a trainer. And there'll also be emails sent to notify the the client that they've made a booking, and to the trainer to say, hi, Val has booked your session on this time, this date, and so forth.
Yeah, beautiful. I mean, that's all pretty straightforward. And I think, like I said, as a trainer in the current times, having this stuff is going to be vital. It's going to be super important moving forward.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's making. I mean, we always want to sort of make things improve, and we're always taking feedback and making sure what we've got at the moment is a good system. We know that we want to make it like a world beater, and that's what we've just recently funded all this development to make sure that we're actually going to sort of take on board a little bit more from the boot camp space about what we're going to see. We're popping an attendance register in soon so that people can just click to attend when they're at the class via a tablet and things like this, and then that'll be able to just neaten up how you can see how many sessions they've done and so forth. And these things are all rolling out over the next few weeks, which I'm pretty excited about, to be honest.
Beautiful. Sounds awesome.
Yeah.
I think you've probably covered everything off there pretty clearly. We do have people tuning in here at the moment live, so I'd like to invite those people who are tuning in live, if you want to put your cameras on and take your mics off and all that sort of stuff, and ask any questions, please do that now. So if you want to, if you do have a question, just throw in your video and come up, and we'll get you on. And if anyone who wants to ask a question, come on up. But Ellen, thank you very much for tuning in. And have you got a question as well for Pete?
Yeah, I've got 3, if that's okay.
Yeah, let me write them down because I've got a memory like a goldfish. Sorry, go.
So first one, with clients booking,
Yep.
can we, if they have a specific membership, can we say, like, just for example, anyone with a silver membership can book into a maximum of 2 classes a week. Anyone with a gold membership can book into these specific classes and a PT session.
Yeah. Short answer, unfortunately, at the moment is no. It's one of the development things that we've been taking on board from from different boot camp people at the moment, is that you want to have those restrictions about the amount of sessions or which type of sessions they're capable of booking into. But at the moment, it's not in the current system.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So the one thing you'll get from all of us over here is bone shaking honesty. And what we don't want to do is sort of say, you know, we are everything when we're not going to provide exactly what you need. But what I will say is that we always will listen, and we're always looking to improve it. And what you've just mentioned there is one of the dev ones that we've got on the table to make improvements. But currently it's not there.
Yeah, cool. The other 2 questions are, how long does it take for the payments to clear to us, and can we refund payments back to clients?
Refunds can't be done, but it's a 2 business day settlement.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Even the real-time payments are a 2 business day settlement because they need to be queried. You need to allow a 2-day period for querying card payments as well through the system. So yeah, you can, I didn't actually mention it. You can take real-time payments as well, as in on the spot. So if you had someone show up, for example, who was new, or pay as you go, and they just say, oh, well, I just want to show up and do classes here and there. Well, the no cash option is not going to fly anymore, because you can just literally pop them in to the system and take their credit card payment there and then on the spot, and you'll know if it's passed or failed, because it will either say processed or not. So sorry, that was off track a little bit, but yeah, from the refunds point of view, no, it's a one-way traffic with us. We can only allow money to go from client to you. And 2 business days on the settlement.
Okay, awesome.
All right.
Nice
Thanks.
questions. I think also I'll just throw in there, I don't mind that the refund, the no refund, because if clients are aware of that, it sort of gets rid of potentially a bit of that, you know, a bit of those awkward conversations. Well, I booked in, but I didn't come. It's like, well, there's no refunds. I'm sorry. If you booked in, you booked in. And it, like, which is what's going to happen in the next, you know, as I said, moving forward at the moment with restrictions, you can't afford to have someone book in and not turn up. It's not fair for anybody. And I don't mind that, I mean, yeah, I don't mind that it's not available. I think it's all right.
Something that happened to me, because like I still PT some people in the mornings. This is like, you know, everything, of course, but I still have clients who I actually like, right? And I like to still train them, and, you know, they're like family, you know. But a couple of years ago, it was a very, very difficult scenario that I was faced with, because I worked out how much money I was actually missing out on because of reschedules or cancellations, and basically making adjustments to payments, right? Because I didn't have a decent, proper set of terms and conditions in place to say, you get makeup sessions at a time when I'm available and they last this long. And when I did the maths behind it and I counted back how much money I'd actually missed out on, it was over $18,000 in 1 year. All right. It was relatively expensive, to be fair, but probably not justifiably, but I was quite, it was a shed load of money to lose out on because I didn't have those set of terms and conditions in place. Obviously, it makes, that's just a nice to know, I start rambling, but it's, I would very much say to anybody who needs a set of terms and conditions, we have a decent template of terms and conditions that I'll gladly sling your way, and I'll just stick it on a Word document so you can make adjustments to it. And if there's bits on it which seem too hard or too soft, then you can make adjustments to it. But if anybody wants that, feel free just to DM me.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
Bear with me, we've got someone.
Okay, I'll be there in 2 seconds.
Sorry, Lois, I'll just throw you back on mute. We've got Tammy, or Tammy, have you got a question as well?
Oh yeah, I think I emailed you about this.
Hi, Tammy. How are you?
Hi, good, thank you. Yeah, so my question was, so I've already got people on a direct debit. So I was wondering how I go about them booking on this system.
Yeah, so this is an excellent question. Basically, what's the biggest development change that we've got coming, which is the very first one, which is being worked on now, but unfortunately it's not as simple as just flicking a switch, because if you make an adjustment, as you know, within coding or websites, if you've got your own website, you make an adjustment here, something else just collapses over here. So it's, we're in the process of making an adjustment and testing this. As it stands, you are quite right. There is a stipulation, which I'm dreadfully annoyed with myself. I allowed myself to get shouted down by the other directors about a year and a half ago. I hope they're not watching. But basically, there was a stipulation that they said, right, well, we want to make sure we're getting money by transaction fees, right? It's the only way we make money, right? So we want to actually secure that in place. So there was that stipulation. There is still that current stipulation that they have to be on a recurring payment plan with us. Now, that never really sat right with quite a few of us. And that's why that limitation is being removed. So stand on me on that one. It's happening. But we have to make sure that the system's not imploding somewhere because we've made that change. But as soon as that's done, like I say, there's a lot of, it's about 60 hours of coding that needs to be done on it. So I'm hoping it's not going to be that, it's not that in coding terms, it's actually that bad. But what we're going to do is get that in place. And then what that will mean is that no matter whether or not they're on a payment schedule with you, it doesn't matter. As long as you tick enable booking, doesn't matter if they're paying you for a different system, doesn't matter if they're paying you cash, at that point, you'll be able to allow them to make bookings without having to pay every time. But as it stands, that stipulation is in.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah,
I'd want to transfer everyone over to you anyway, because your fees are a lot cheaper.
I know, right?
Yeah, but it's just, I'm kind of halfway through a challenge, so I don't want to change things.
No, exactly right. And it's a very tentative time for everybody at the moment. I mean, it's a weird thing, because on the one hand, it's a time where there's a really good scope for quite considerable changes within your business to be able to say, okay, right, this is where we're going from now. But on the other hand, you've also got to factor in people are scared of change, and people are kind of looking to go back to something kind of normal, right? So I get it. It's a little bit sketchy. But sorry, go on. You was going to say something.
And then some people have paid up front as well. So I guess I can't use the booking system at the moment until.
I tell you, let me message you, because there is a way that we can kind of hack the system a little bit. All right. I don't care telling everyone, but I think it just won't make much sense if people are not familiar with the system. But there's a little hack that we can pop in there, and I'll walk you through that process, and then I think I'm 90% sure that it's going to work.
Okay. And then I'm looking at like, because I'm offering 7-day free trial. How do they book in on free trial? That kind of thing.
Well, again, this is where that kind of
Yeah.
that removal of what we've got, it's the same kind of process, right? Because as soon as that's gone, you can just enable them to make bookings before you set them up on a payment.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So yeah, you could just say, all right, well, I'll add you to the system. Obviously, it doesn't cost anything to add them to the system. So pop their name, mobile, email address, telephone number in, and then, okay, straight away, enable booking, enable class booking, enable PT booking. And then, yeah, get them to do 7 days. And then you say, all right, cool. Now we'll put you on the recurring payment, or yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Awesome.
One last question. Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm holding everyone else up. Can you do like special payments where only certain clients can see? Because like I've got regulars that I want to keep on the same amount, but then for new people, it'll be a different price.
You can, like, so what you can do is within the location that you set up, there's a tick box in there that says show location, and you can take that out. And then what that will mean is that no one will actually see what the prices are for that location.
Okay.
That makes sense? So within, I know that you've obviously got your account. So if you was to go into your main menu, locations, edit that location, the one that you want to not show prices for, and then there's a little tick box that says show location, remove that. But with it, what you're going to have that, what I'd suggest you do there for now is just keep your highest price in there.
Okay.
Because you're better off everybody seeing your high price, right?
Yeah.
Than your low price.
Yeah.
So go for that for now. And like, if you have any dramas with that, just feel free to give me a call. We'll work through that.
Okay. Thank you so much.
No worries.
Thank you.
Bernadette, how's it going? Do you have a question as well? No?
No.
All good?
Thanks anyway. I'm just listening and learning.
Beautiful. Awesome.
Thank you.
That's all right. Anyone else out there got a question? And I know we're going live on Facebook as well. So if you've got questions in the Facebook comments, please leave them there. We won't get to them live here, but I'm sure Pete's in our Facebook group and he'll be able to get in there and give his 2 cents. And on top of that, if you're interested in getting, hearing from Pete or signing up, just write muster in the comments, and we can point you in the right direction and get you sort of set up. And if you've got any questions for the guys from muster, they can sort it out for you, I'm sure. We've got Mata. Thank you for coming in, mate. How's it going?
Yeah, good, thanks. Just one question from sunny New Zealand.
Okay, mate.
Is this available for people in New Zealand as well?
I'm afraid that New Zealand is not currently available.
I hate you.
Well, I love you. I don't care. No, what we got is, unfortunately, the New Zealand banking system is makes it very hard. Like we are still looking at New Zealand, but there's your bank, not your personally, but the banking system over in New Zealand is making it incredibly hard for us to be able to offer the same business structure as what we currently have here. And what I mean by that is that there's certain stipulations around establishment fees. There's certain stipulations around how long it is before your account can be set up. There's stipulations around how long we have to hold the money in trust for. And it's it's been a bit of a mind explosion my side, and we've got to try and work out ways of making that fit into our business model, because we want to stay free, right? Because we could easily go over there now and say, oh yeah, right, cool, and it's going to cost this much per month, but that just doesn't sit right with how we actually want to run the business. So we're plotting, let's put it that way. We're scheming, and we're trying to work it out as best we can, mate. And as soon as we can, I'll let you know.
Thank you.
No worries.
Cheers, Mata. Beautiful. Any last questions before we sign off here with Pete? But again, thank you everyone for tuning in and listening. Hopefully you've got some good information here. Hopefully you've seen the platform there. If you're watching live, you've been able to see how it works and see how it's going to benefit you. And like I said, I can't stress this enough. I cannot stress this enough, that if you don't have a booking system at the moment, it is more important than it's ever been. Like we ran boot camp for many years and never, ever, ever, ever used a booking system because it wasn't needed. We didn't care if 10 people turned up or if 50 people turned up. We realistically, it didn't matter. Everyone was on a weekly direct debit, didn't matter. But right now, more than ever, it is going to matter. And I don't think it's going to change anytime soon. Like I think there's going to be caps on numbers for a little while. So provided you've got more than you may be getting more than 10 or maybe getting more than 20, I think you're always going to need to have a good solid booking system. And why not get one that's it's not going to set you back every month and not going to have a contract for it. Also takes repayments. Like everyone always asks us, as I said, I didn't realize you had that back end as well. But in regards to taking payments and direct debit, we get asked that all the time. Like, what direct debit company do you use? What direct debit? I didn't realize you guys offered that as well. So, I mean, that's also good for anyone listening too. But we've got Rachel, who I think wants to come in and ask a question. I'll unmute you again quickly. Rachel, how's it going? Well, there you go.
Good, thanks. Got a question. Basically with, oh God, now I've got to remember it. Sorry about the noise in the background if you can hear it. I've got my whole family behind me because I'm visiting Mama.
Hello, whole family.
No, they're at the backyard. I'm in my mum's bedroom. So I had to sit there and just run away. Basically, with your fees, say the client pays $30 for a class.
Yep.
Now, the fees that you guys take, is it taken out of that $30 or do they pay the fees on top of the $30?
On top. Fantastic question, by the way.
So
and it's on top. Yeah. So basically, it's added. Like keeping in line with keeping this a free system for the PT, we charge the client. Like for say PT or the bootcamp instructor, we say it charges the client. So if you was to add, so $30, so on a credit card payment, if they was paying by credit or debit card, it would be the 1.76% plus 33 cents added to your fee. So you take 30 and they pay 31 or whatever, So,
okay.
Yeah.
Also, do you offer anything else other than Visa or MasterCard, as in like, say, PayPal or anything like that?
Currently, no. We're looking into potentially doing PayPal, BPay, but because we're making money off of transactions, it's really hard to negotiate a good rate with either of those companies.
Okay.
So yeah, basically how it works is we get like a wholesale rate off of our merchant account provider. So we are a merchant account facility and we tap in effectively to Westpac ultimately via another merchant account. And what we managed to do was secure a really good wholesale rate for our company on the proviso, obviously, that we're providing a lot of transactions for that company, for that merchant. And that meant that they were able to offer us a great rate, cheaper than anywhere else. And that meant that we could put a small amount on top of that for our business and therefore keep it a free system. But the problem is we can't do that with you try and do that with Amex and you're going to be charging like 5%. No one's going to pay that. And you try and do that with
I don't know anyone who
diners.
uses Amex anymore.
I got asked the other day, I was like, seriously? Okay. But yeah, no, it's weird, right? But some people do. And so we had to make a judgment call quite early on as to like where the majority of people were and what was going to fit in with our business model to keep it free. And that basically effectively meant Visa and MasterCard. But yeah, so we don't have plans to necessarily tap into PayPal anytime soon. It's not a viable opportunity for us.
So I'll just tap on, sorry, Rachel, to interrupt for just a quick second. So you do cards, so Visa, MasterCard, debit cards, credit cards. Do you do like bank as well? Like could they pay with BSB? And
Yeah. We'd prefer if you did. It's better for us because, well, I say that if you're charging an extremely high amount of money and it's off of a percentage, then it's better. But the reason banking is better because it makes it makes our whole system run smoother. But yeah, you can do it off anything. You can do it off BSB account number. We say is like definitely the best way to go for recurring payments because it's a much simpler sort of strategy. But credit debit card works just fine as well as long as it's Visa, MasterCard.
Yeah. Sorry, Rachel.
Okay, well, that's okay. I'm most likely going to be switching over as soon as possible because I've got subscriptions for my online customers, and my bank wouldn't let me do direct debit through them until I had been basically in business with them for like 2 to 5 years. So I had to go through third party, and they do charge some phenomenal fees. And unfortunately, I'm the one who's taking them because I don't want to give them to my clients.
Yeah.
But,
Well, in the case of bank payments, it's actually, if you want to absorb the fee yourself, it's just a matter of adjusting the total that you want. So if you was to say, like, if you know what everybody's paying, say $30 or whatever like that, I don't know, then yeah, you just take the $1.50 off of that total, and they would only get charged $30, and you would get 38.50
or whatever it is.
Yeah.
No, if that's the case, if I'm not getting charged that much, then they can get a couple of charges this time.
Well, I agree. I couldn't agree more, because, you know, to them, it's not much, right? If you add it up to over the course of a year, for them, it's like, you know, a few bucks. You know, you taking on all of those clients, for you, it's hundreds of dollars. And then when you go to other systems and they charge even more than us, then the difference between us and the other system is hundreds of dollars. And it's just, yeah, I mean, the only way our the only way our fees are going to go is down. But we are where we are at the moment, and we'll see where we go from there.
Okay. Another question. Square is basically a payment thing. You know what Square is, don't you?
Yeah.
Are you looking at, like, some people like to do the whole tap and go kind of thing? They don't want to sit there, and will you be looking at doing something like that for your platform or not?
100% looking at doing it. What you've got to do, like, so when it comes to coding and developing and things like that, as I've learned, is that you're better off not inventing the wheel. You're better off refining it. And so
doing that.
Yeah, exactly. Like, stand on the shoulders of everyone who's done the hard work, because we've done the hard work, and other people are, you know, trying to stand on our shoulders now, but we just keep making it better. But with the stuff that we got here, like taking payment by card, what we want to do is make it like, instead of having a box machine, we don't want to, you know, no one wants to carry around that little sort of white box with them and plug it into the phone. It's archaic. We just, you know, so we want to do it basically off of attaching to the phone, which can, but with that comes inherent, you know, legislation and dangers around like how you take that in. So we are watching like hawks at how different things are going, and then it's easy for us to be able to say, we'll buy that off of you and integrate it with us. So I guess, like, yes is the short answer, but it's not there yet.
You're waiting to see how it's getting done by other people first.
Yeah, exactly right. I mean, because it's other industries.
Let everybody else make mistakes first.
Yeah, exactly right. Crikey, yeah. No, that's exactly right. And because you refine it, it's great. You invent it, you go broke.
Beautiful.
Yeah, see, I'm in the process of refining at the moment, because I'm refining my current business to transfer it over to a new one. Basically, I'm pretty much revamping it. I'm renaming it and all that kind of stuff, because all my clients are women. I'm actually making this section of my business, basically, I'm going to make it wholly and solely for women, so they feel more comfortable in my boot camps and more comfortable. Just, they don't have any males around, because some of my clients are actually Muslim women and they don't like being anywhere near males. So this is going to be like for their safe haven, where they can exercise and feel safe and feel comfortable. And then eventually I want to sit there and bring on my partner and make him do all the boys, and he can have all the smelly boys and I'll keep all the nice women.
Definitely the best way to go. Yeah, no, exactly right. Whenever you, and if you're looking for any help or guidance with that, by all means, shout out to us. Obviously, Travis and John are great people as well. You know, they've got their women's sort of health summit coming up as well, right? Which looks pretty awesome.
We do.
So yeah, and anything that we can do our side, please don't hesitate to sing out. I mean, we've made enough mistakes to know how to do stuff pretty well now, I guess is what it comes down to. If you stick in the game long enough, eventually you have to have learnt new tricks. So yeah, just sing out if there's anything we can do. And we, like I say, we always try to do promotions. So one of the things we look to do, especially if you're sort of repackaging your offering, if you like, or rebranding it in a sense, is that we look to go onto like we basically go into different Facebook groups. We look to become members of Facebook groups. We have sort of certain strategies that we do in order to do that, all above board. But then what we do is we look to actually run the promotions for people within those areas with the direct link to your own web page within Muster. And we also, because we just want to help, we're not just saying, oh, well, you have to book for us. We actually advertise your telephone number, email address, everything that you put into the system, so that we can just try and generate interest, try and generate business and awareness around your business.
Okay, cool.
Great. Beautiful. Have we got any other questions from people tuning in live? Or it's going to be forever hold your peace?
I can always ask us again, right?
But Pete, thank you very much for your time today. Thank you very much for sharing the knowledge, sharing some of the system. Well, I know that the questions that we get are around payment gateways. The questions we get around booking systems happen all the time. So it's cool to be able to point them in a spot that fits well for everyone. It's done by PTs for PTs. I think that's really also important. An important thing is like you said, you're trying to, not necessarily inventing it all, but you're, trying to refine it all. And I think that's what you guys have done really well. And
Thanks,
obviously a few cool things coming along in the pipe works, a few cool, developments that you're getting as well.
Yeah, can't wait actually. Yeah, I'll keep everybody posted. I'm sure people have seen how annoying I can be on this group anyway. So it's, but yeah, I'll try and make everybody aware without clogging up your feeds.
Sounds good, mate. Well, thank you very much for your time. Again, everybody tuning in, thank you. If you have any questions, please, in the Facebook group, if you're there live now, please put them there. If you're interested to chat to Pete or whatever, just write Muster and we can point him your way. But thank you very much, everyone, for your time. Thank you for everyone tuning in live and asking your questions. Pete, again, thanks for your time.
Thanks, mate.
Facebook Live video, we have to end it as we are here. So thank you very much, and I will chat to you soon. All right, see you guys.